Welcome to the Community Difference, Collin County. The show where community comes first, leadership is amplified, and impact is the expectation, not the exception. Covering 12 thriving municipalities across Collin County, we spotlight the professionals, creatives, nonprofit leaders, and bold connectors who are shaping the future of North Texas. From McKinney to Melissa, from Plano to Prosper, from Frisco to Fairview. Each episode dives into the issues that matter most to our local business and civic communities. From leadership and entrepreneurship to education, economic growth, service, innovation, and the power of collaboration. If it impacts how we live, lead, or grow in Collin County, we talk about it. The Community Difference is powered by the Business Development Alliance and made possible by the Difference Media LLC. With a trusted team of co-hosts who live, work, and lead in the communities we serve, this show is built on collaboration and powered by people who care. Now, getting today's conversation started, your host, Brian Poduska.
Well, good afternoon, Collin County, and welcome to the Community Difference, Collin County. We are a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I'm your host, Brian Poduska. I am the owner of Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments right here in Collin County, right here in Frisco, and then on a larger scale all over the DFW area. I'm also the host of the show, as I mentioned. If you haven't seen the show before, what we are all about is putting the spotlight on community leaders. Those community leaders consist of usually 5 different types, right? So that would be a business owner or an entrepreneur, a political leader, a ISD leader, nonprofit leadership, and then I'm going to continue to harp on the sports leadership since even though we've expanded to Collin County from specific to Frisco, which is Sports City USA, it is Sports City kind of or Sports County. How about we do that? Sports County USA up here in Collin County. We also have rotating business features each month. And we have dedicated the month of July to spotlighting Collin County's Chambers of Commerce. So we're going to dive in with several leaders of those Chambers of Commerce here in a little bit. But if you've seen our show before, you also know that we have rotating co-hosts. So first, I would like to bring in our co-hosts, introduce them to the audience here. Today's first co-host knows a thing or two about rallying a community. Whether it was leading a teen band that opened for Reba McEntire at a goat cook-off, yep, that's a real thing, or now is the owner and education director at Abracadoodle, where she turns creative chaos into process art magic. Debbie Watson brings the kind of energy that builds bridges and brings people together. She's here to help us explore how strong leadership and authentic connections can shape thriving local chambers and communities. Let's say hello to Debbie Watson.
Afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, good to see you today and excited to have you back on the show. This would be, I guess, the first time that we're doing it in our newer format.
Yep.
In the actual, not in person like we did last month at the PGA.
Right. Yeah, it seems like it's been a while, but because we were in person on the PGA, so.
That's right. Well, it's good to see you. Let's bring in our other co-host. She once smuggled 18 place settings of fine china through airport security and roamed Europe in a family-sized onesie parade. Jax Crider lives life on her own terms, and that includes how she does business. As the fearless founder of PBJ Mortgage, she knows that real community starts with bold moves and better connections. Today, she's co-hosting as we unpack why the Chamber of Commerce isn't just helpful, it's essential to local business magic. Let's say hello to Jax.
Hey, hey.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Yes, indeed. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the new format.
I know, right? It's so fun to be doing something new and something that's so powerful to all of Collin County. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're gonna dive into that here in a little bit as we get into our What's Up segment. But just kind of a quick recap, right? So I mentioned before, I'm talking about this new format. Well, we've changed our focus a little bit to put a feature on various parts of either the business community or something that's important to a community within Collin County. Last month, we had the PGA Championship, the Women's PGA Championship up at PGA Frisco, and we were on site for the entire month. We had some great interviews. We interviewed the general chair of the Women's PGA Championship, Ashley Miller. We interviewed Jason Mengel, who is the championship director with the PGA of America. So he handles all the championships that they administer. So the PGA Championships, both men and women, and the Ryder Cup. So we got behind the scenes a little bit with Jason, which was awesome. We had the pleasure to interview the world's top 17-year-old golfer in Luke Colton, who is a Frisco resident and goes to Wakeland High School right here in Frisco. So that was pretty awesome with him and his dad. We spent a good hour or so with Mr. David Ovard, who was one of the key players who brought the PGA of America, was able to, facilitate that move of the PGA of America from Florida to Frisco. So obviously there's a lot involved in with that, and then also with the impact of that to the city of Frisco and the region in general. It's not just the city of Frisco. So we went through all of that. We broadcast live from the PGA of America on multiple different interviews, and actually had the honor of getting a media pass and media credentials for the tournament, which was pretty awesome.
It's so cool.
Great partnership with the PGA of America, and we were super stoked to put the spotlight on them and their shining event of the Women's PGA Championship, which was super cool. Last episode, which was last week, we had leaders of the chambers of commerce from various different Collin County cities. We had McKinney, we had Princeton, and we also had, help me out, who was our other one? That's all right. I'll remember.
It was
Wiley.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say I thought it might be Wiley, but I wasn't sure.
Yep. And it was great conversation because we got to understand, some of the differences between big chambers and small chambers. But what we came to realize is that there's so much in common, no matter what size community they're in. And we're going to see a little bit of that today as well. So I look forward to diving into that. And with that, why don't we go ahead, Lyndon, and bring in our...
Did you see that it's our diamond episode, Brian?
Exactly, our 75th episode.
Okay.
Yes.
News to me. Okay, I see it in the comments here. 75th. Okay, that's a diamond. That's a real thing, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, if you can make it your 75th anniversary, that's life. That thing.
I'll take a diamond. I'll take a diamond for this.
Me too.
I was gonna say, had I known that, I would have worn all my diamond bling. Unfortunately, I wasn't aware that the 75th was a diamond. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations to you guys. Super cool. All right, so Lyndon, do me a favor. Lyndon is the man behind the curtain. He is our creator and founder of the Difference Media LLC and the engine behind this whole thing. So, Lyndon, I'm not going to introduce you like I did last week, but feel free to chime in if you'd like to jump in the conversation. But as production manager here, can you bring in our Chamber of Commerce guest today?
I sure can. One thing I want to say before we do that is that most podcasts do not make it past the 20th episode. So to get to 75 is a huge, huge accomplishment. And I just want to thank all the viewers and our sponsors for keeping this show going and allowing us to do what we do and helping grow our communities.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yay.
So having said that, here they come.
All right. Hello, chamber leaders. How are we?
Hello. Good.
Hello.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you for joining us today. Super excited to be able to spotlight you guys and dive into, just some of the unique things that each one of your communities has to offer, and then also talk about some similarities. And what we had going on last week with the chambers that were with us, they actually had a little bit of partnership going on because with Princeton being kind of an up and coming, and they're the fastest growing city in the U.S., and they're trying to catch up from a Chamber of Commerce support standpoint. So they were able to share some best practices on screen here, and then as well getting together afterwards. So we were pretty excited to see those connections being made live and in person. Let's start. We'll go ladies first. Tracy, let's start with you since you're kind of on the left side of my screen. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell the audience who you are and what you do?
Thanks, Brian. Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Heckle, and I am blessed to serve as the Executive Director of the Prosper Chamber of Commerce. I've been in that role for almost 3 years. As most of the communities in Collin County, we are growing rapidly, and just as a chamber, embracing this growth and enjoying it while we have it. I'm excited to be with y'all today, and congrats on 75 shows. That's great.
Well, thank you. And thanks for being part of our Diamond Show here.
Yes.
Thank you.
How cool is that? All right.
Very cool.
I feel like they won a prize. I think they did.
I
think they won a prize.
didn't know you were giving diamonds to us today for
Right.
being here. So.
Exactly.
Just see the receptionist on your way out. All right, Kelly, let's let you introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what you do.
Sure. My name is Kelly Finelli. I know it sounds like the punchline to the joke. My name really is Kelly Finelli.
Memorable. I love it.
Well, I always say it's like the blessing and the curse. The blessing is that nobody ever forgets it, but the challenge is that nobody ever forgets it. So you have to be on your very best behavior all the time.
Exactly. I was going to say, you have to make sure that what you do is memorable in the good way, right?
Exactly. And I'm the business development manager for the Plano Chamber of Commerce, which is a very large, very active, awesome chamber full of wonderful members, just like all of the chambers. And I really do appreciate the opportunity for us to all kind of talk together, both to the audience, but also kind of brainstorm off one another, because sometimes that's really when you get the best discussions. So thanks for including all of us.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thanks for joining us again in a different format. It was a pleasure to have you on the Business Development Alliance panel discussion, which I think we heard from pretty much everybody who was there, and they were all thankful for the information you guys shared at that and the connections that were made. So thanks again for joining us again. And then last but not least, let's let Nicholas introduce himself and tell the audience what you do.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Jordan. I'm the newly hired executive director for the Murphy Chamber of Commerce. If you don't know where Murphy is, it's kind of settled between Wiley, Plano, and Sachse. So it's a small chamber, but I'm looking forward to getting in there and kind of growing the chamber that needs to be. I'm really excited about the people that I have met so far. And I've been involved with chambers for the last 30 plus years in different positions and different chambers around the DFW Metroplex area. So I'm really looking forward to getting to know everybody, especially the neighbors in Plano and Wiley, and seeing we can collaborate on a lot of things.
All right. Well, thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate that. I saw Buddy chiming in there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Yep. Shout out to Plano from Buddy. Tracy, thank you for watching. Lauren Gill, one of our co-hosts, watching as well. Thank you, and shout out to you guys. All right, with that, I'm going to take us out to our first commercial break. On the back end of that, we're going to talk about what's cooking in Collin County. So stick around. We'll be right back.
The Community Difference, Collin County, is made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Bethany Ralwin with the Beer Ralwin Realty Group, Jax Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Debbie Watson with Abracadoodle, and by Lauren Gill with My Live, Love Travel. The Community Difference, Collin County. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Cooking in Collin County?
There you go. There's our new sounder, What's Cooking in Collin County. So we're going to talk about what's going on around Collin County. And by that, I mean any sort of fun events, whether it's family event, business event, fundraisers, those sorts of things in any of the Collin County communities. So with that, we'll go around the horn and talk about what's cooking in Collin County. Jax, we're going to start with you. So take it away.
Absolutely. So you want to play the video, Lyndon, for the event? So, Collin County is an amazing place to be, and we are getting amazing conferences like this one. This is going to actually take place here in our area in Frisco at the Hyatt Regency Frisco. So, that's that one that's attached to the Stonebriar Mall. It is going to be happening from October 9th through the 11th. And as time goes on, the ticket prices go up. So, I definitely highly recommend. I already have my ticket. But as we know, for business, AI is at the forefront, right? It is changing small business owners for the better and giving us a competitive edge that we haven't had pretty much ever. So if you're wanting to know how to grow your business more, this is an amazing opportunity and event. Mr. Scott Simpson, who was kind of there fourth in, he actually was a guest on our show because he is a master at content and things like that. So a really great panel of people are going to be speaking. It's an amazing event, and I highly, highly encourage you guys to check it out.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And would you like to introduce Sergeant Babb?
Absolutely. I was going to say, longtime friend of the show. We have Mr. Sergeant Babb. He is part of the Plano Police Department where I grew up, and he always is coming in, letting us know all about what's going on in Plano, how the community can be involved, which is so, so important to us as a community. So take it away, Sergeant Babb. Let us know what we got going on.
All right. Thank you guys for having me back. Right now, our Citizens Police Academy registration is open at planopolice.org. That is our flagship for my unit, the crime prevention unit. It is 12 weeks long on Thursday nights from 7 to 10 with one Saturday on our driving track where we put you behind the wheel of one of our cars and tell you to drive it like you stole it. So tell me how many times you're going to hear that from an officer.
Beautiful thing.
Awesome.
It's a way that we pull back the curtain on the department for the folks that live and work in Plano. And then also, this is a little bit more concentrated notification, but we're trying to let everyone we can know. During the month of July, we're having a training exercise, including the Plano Police Department, Plano Fire Department, Emergency Management, and our communications or dispatch 911. That's taking place at Carpenter Middle School, which is in the area of Crossbend and Rainier. So if you live in those areas and you see a very heavy police and fire presence on the 21st, 23rd, 28th, and 30th, that would be it. No need to worry. It's just something that we try to do on a biannual basis to make sure that we are ready if a tragedy or a mass casualty incident were to occur in Plano. Luckily, we haven't had that to that degree, but we are doing everything we can to be prepared for that, and that's what that's all about. So if you see it, don't be alarmed. And also on the 30th, we will be at the Plano Center with the Back to School Fair. A lot of giveaways, a lot of good stuff, but I got to tell you, get there early if you're going to go. This thing is packed. There are probably thousands of people that come through this, but it's a fantastic resource for the community. A lot of it is geared towards helping kids that may be a little underprivileged, helping them get stuff for school. In past, I believe they've done haircuts, given away book bags, and pretty much any of the supplies that they would need. But it's also a great resource to find out for many of the things that, many of the resources that you can use, even if you're just a member of the community. But great folks out there will be there. Come by and see us.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Sergeant Babb, for always showing up for us and letting us know what's going on in Collin County. And obviously, Plano is one of the bigger cities in it, so we appreciate that.
You bet. Thank you guys for having us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being on today. Thank you for all you do for the community. And thank you for keeping Jax out of trouble. As she said, she grew up in Plano, so probably kept your crime prevention unit.
I'm doing my best over here.
Yeah.
Hey. The worst I've ever had in Plano is a ticket, okay, Brian? Don't start sharing false news. Okay? No.
Well, and having been a graduate of a Citizen Police Academy, actually through Little Elm, I would highly, highly recommend, guys, that you go do it with Plano. Sounds like we got to go to the gun range. They get to go drive cars really fast, which I kind of would like to do that too. So, and not get in trouble with it. But I would encourage everyone that you should go through that experience. It's just an amazing, it gives you a huge appreciation for what you guys do. And Thank you, Sergeant Babs.
And if I can add one thing, the actors in our joint exercise that we're doing this month, those a great deal of those are through our Citizens Police Academy, because that's the gateway to volunteer for the police department. So if that's something you're interested in, that's your ticket to do that. So we'd love to have you. It's filling up fast. We have probably a handful of seats left because we don't want to overcrowd the room. But highly encourage you, if that's something you're interested in, jump on right now and get your registration done so we can try to get you a seat.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Love it. That's awesome. Well, thanks again, Sergeant Babb. Great to see you again. And we will officially let you go protect the city of Plano. We appreciate you being on the show again today, though.
You bet. Thank you guys again. Y'all take care.
All right. Take care, man.
Thanks, Sergeant Babb.
All right. Let's see. Who's up next? I believe we were going to let Tracy, or no, I'm sorry, Debbie, you were going to go?
Sure. Yeah. So a couple of things for this weekend if you're looking for some great activities. Kaleidoscope, as we know, always has something going on. But this weekend, Saturday from 10 to 2, they have Shop Local Summer Market. So they're going to have local vendors and child-led businesses, which I always love to see that. So they're going to have that, come out, support your local vendors. And then also back to the PGA district Saturday night from 7 to 9. If you are a Garth Brooks fan, they're going to have a tribute to Garth Brooks during that time, even filled with costumes and things like that. So go out, enjoy the nice weather out there for that. And then on the 24th of July, again, back at the PGA, it's tequila and tacos featuring Casamigos. So July the 24th, that Thursday, you can indulge, walk around. They're going to have a tequila tasting with the Casamigos cocktails paired with a taco bar, casual setting. So if you're looking for something to do on a Thursday, July 24th, go out and check that out. And then there is in August, now we're going to go to Frisco in the Comerica Center. August 18th, there is a Taylorville, a tribute to Taylor Swift. So I have granddaughters that love Taylor Swift. So this might be a great thing for Grammy to take the big kids out and have some bonding time watching Taylor Swift tribute. And then on August 22nd and 24th, they're having an art at the arena. So they're going to have a whole weekend celebrating the original fine arts from emerging and pro artists with music. So since that is my business, I'll probably have to go check that out. So if you enjoy art, go out August 22nd through the 24th and check that out. So that's all I have. And then I guess I'll switch it back over to Tracy to share what's going on in Prosper.
Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, I wanted to share with you guys, we have our bourbon, beer, and bubbly event. It's a sip and stroll through downtown Prosper on Saturday. It starts at noon and goes until 4 o'clock. Tickets are $36, and you'll have 10 samples of either beer, craft beer, bourbon, or bubbly and wine will also be available. So tickets are available at SBG Hospitality, and the town website also has a link on there where you can purchase the tickets to go to that event. And while you're downtown Prosper, the Chamber is having a shop local program, so you can pick up your card and pick up some stamps while you're visiting our local store owners downtown. So we'd love to see you come up and join us.
Awesome.
Love that. That's awesome. Yeah, you had me at bourbon.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's a good combination. There's something for everybody right there, right?
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. Nicholas, I'm going to hand it over to you. I believe you guys have something new that you're starting or restarting with the Murphy Chamber.
Yes, I'm, like I said, newly hired for the Murphy Chamber of Commerce, getting used to everything there. We're, after several months of not having a chamber luncheon and a chamber after hours, we're going to be putting those back in place in August. The first Monday in August will be our happy hour that we'll be doing at a local restaurant there. And then the luncheon will be the second Tuesday at a local restaurant. So we want to get that. I'm created the flyer and getting it out to everybody right now. We're just looking to build on the chamber that we have now. We have a great chamber that I'm looking forward to helping be a part of, and showing my leadership there and bringing more things to the community that we can have more events for the Chamber of Commerce.
Love it. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I will bring us home on the What's Cooking Collin County segment. Just a couple news headlines here in the city of Frisco. Since I'm a Frisco resident, I'll bring these to the table. City Council announced at the last meeting that the homestead exemption has been raised to 20% from 15%. So if you haven't heard that piece of good news, property taxes obviously have increased as our property values have increased, while the homestead exemption, an increase in the homestead exemption is a good thing. So it'll save you several $100s on your tax bill, most likely on average next year. So thank you, City Council of Frisco, for getting that passed. Also on the City Council and city governance side, the boards and commissions applications for the City of Frisco boards is now open through the end of July. So if you are interested in getting more involved in the city, pick what your passion is, pick what your background fit is for whatever board that has availability. Get out there and submit your applications. They do close at the end of July, and the selection process begins shortly thereafter. Also in the City of Frisco, a little shout out to the Parks and Rec Department. July is the Parks and Rec month. So not just in Frisco, but across the United States of America. And the City of Frisco is doing a Where's Walnut scavenger hunt. It's every Wednesday in the month of July. So they give some clues on the Instagram page. So look up Frisco, Play Frisco, I believe it is. They have an Instagram page. They send out clues throughout the week to go find this walnut, right? So get out there to the Instagram page for the City of Frisco Parks and Rec and check that out. Debbie mentioned the PGA of America. In addition to what they have going on with Garth Brooks, I wanted to call out a few things that they have available to the public at the T-Mobile Coaching Center. So that is their coaching center. It's a dedicated building right there at the PGA of America. They have a women's golf clinic this Saturday, 8 to 9 a.m. They have a try golf clinic, right? So anybody who is interested in getting involved in the sport of golf, no skill level necessary. You don't need equipment. Show up. They've got multiple sessions this weekend and every other weekend as well. And then there's also a junior golf clinic and a full swing golf clinic. So the junior golf clinic, that's kind of self-explanatory. If you're a junior and you want to get more involved in some lessons, get over there this weekend. The full swing golf clinic. So I highlighted the short game session, which was last weekend. This is the full swing, so your full golf swing. So they have a clinic there this weekend at the T-Mobile Coaching Center. They also have a movie night for any family or anybody who wants to go out every Friday night is movie night. They are showing Camp Rock this Friday. So 8 to 10 p.m. at the PGA of America up there in north side of Frisco. And with that, I would be remiss if I did not mention the Business Development Alliance meeting. There it is right there. You can see it. This is a monthly meeting. It's the third Wednesday of every month, which happens to be, fourth of every month. Thank you. Which happens to be next week. So July 23rd, it is always from 11:30 to 1 p.m. at the NAC Theater in downtown Frisco. I mentioned the one that we had with the Chambers of Commerce. That was in May. Last month, we had local EDC leaders. This month, we are having business financing leaders. So various different folks in the business financing realm and space, commercial lending, non-traditional lending, SBA lending, business credits, all of those things will be discussed on the panel. There is also, it's during lunchtime, so you have the opportunity to order lunch ahead of time, as well as, of course, network and make connections. So I'm excited to hear from these panel members. So if you're looking to either expand your business, get into a new business, or if you're thinking about starting up a business and don't know how to do it, this would be a great event for you to attend and meet these folks. So thanks for putting that up, Lyndon. I look forward to next Wednesday's meeting. In the meantime, what we're going to do is take a quick commercial break, and we're going to dive into how the chambers of commerce are heartbeats for small business in their local community. So stick around. We're going to talk about that next.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now, back to the show.
Okay, welcome back. And we are going to, as I mentioned before we went to commercial break, we are going to dive into basically these communities, chambers of commerce. And then really, I'm going to kick this conversation off with a very, I'll call it general high-level question, but I love to hear your guys' answer on this. And Kelly, I'm going to direct this one to you, being the most, I guess, established and largest chamber. What is the job of the chamber? What does the Chamber of Commerce do? So very, very high level question, but so we'll see where the answers go. But in your opinion, what is the main job of the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, a chamber is really represents the community that they serve. So how a chamber's job is to look within that community and contribute to creating a stable and vibrant economic development environment. Chambers have this great position of being in a intersection of businesses, municipalities, nonprofits, universities, education system. All of these elements of the infrastructure of a community really intersect in the chamber. So the chamber's job is to figure out how to bring out the best parts of all of those elements, and then how to give the members access to all of the contacts and information that they represent. It's kind of a short answer. Some people would say, the chamber's job is to help me find my next client. So it really depends on what your needs are. And then our job is to help us figure out how to answer those needs. And if we can't, how to bring the resources to the table that can.
Love that. Well, yeah, and the answer probably varies based on who you're talking to or who asked the question, right? So, no, I love that. That's a good broad answer, because it does go across so many people and so many different organizations. Okay, so you get the benefit of going first on this one, because you get to answer however you want. Tracy, we'll go to you next, and feel free to. There may be some overlap in your answer, but what do you see as the main job of the Chamber of Commerce?
Sure. I feel like promoting our businesses just through connections, resources, education, and opportunities for businesses to get together and connect is priority in my mind of what we do. And then, as Kelly stated, working with the community, learning more about the community, connecting and bringing those entities together, whether it's your school district, your town government. Collin College works with us a lot, just bringing all of those pieces together to meet needs of various businesses and the like. So yeah, a lot of like you said, along the lines of what Kelly said, we all here for the same purpose, growing our communities and our businesses. So.
Love that. And I'm glad you mentioned the Collin College aspect of it as well. That came up in the discussion last week. There's a nice pipeline and a direct connection between multiple chambers of commerce in the area and Collin College. So I love hearing that. Okay, Nicholas, I'm going to ask you. You get the hardest job because you go last, so you have to think of something different. No, I'm just kidding. What is your opinion of what the job of the Chamber of Commerce is?
Well, it's hard to follow the last two acts. Trust me. Right. With a smaller Chamber of Commerce, it's a little more. It's a little more personal to me being us with a small chamber, as that we're representing the businesses in that community to make sure that their voice is heard by people, and creating either events or things to do that highlight their businesses, and making sure if we're getting calls into the Chamber of Commerce that we're promoting the businesses that people are looking for. So it's kind of like I said, with a small chamber, it's a little different than large chambers because it's a little more personal that way than with some of the larger chambers.
Got it. Well, and I see Kelly smiling there because I can imagine why, because whether you're small or big, that personal relationship is key. I think the process of how you develop those personal relationships is probably very different between the smaller and bigger chambers. But not to negate your point at all, Nicholas, it absolutely is first and foremost, I would think, in a smaller community, seeing as how there's just fewer businesses, right? That's the main difference. And the size of business is likely on average much smaller as well. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, Jax, I'm going to hand it over to you. I think you had a question teed up.
Yeah, absolutely. I did. So, and this kind of, goes back to what we were just sort of discussing. So obviously, some of our communities have really large businesses like Plano, right? We know they have giant employers that are likely plugged into chambers, and some of the others, maybe like Murphy, don't have as many really large businesses. But when it comes to small business specifically, like how should they best plug in and maybe not overcommit, not waste their time, but still, be present, allow themselves to be seen. And so this time, let's go in reverse order. So that way we'll give Nicholas first shot, so he doesn't feel like he has to be the most difficult. So Nicholas, how do you feel about that? What do you think for small business, getting involved and maybe not overcommitting themselves?
Well, in that aspect with me of looking at that, I've got to talk to the business owners to see how they want to be involved and what they're interested in, what really appeals to them to promote their business. Also, of looking to be a part of the community. So it's getting to know the business owners and finding out what they're passionate about, not so much about what I'm passionate about, but what they need to see.
Yeah, I love that. That's so true. I think a lot of times, it's hard as a small business owner because you're in different stages depending on how new you are, how established you are, and things like that. So that's so true and so super helpful. What do you think, Tracy? What are your thoughts about that?
I'm going to be right there in line with him. I have conversations with my members of, what are you looking for from the chamber, and then help them to engage in what that looks like for them, whether it's networking or they're there to learn and grow, their Google pages, or some, they're looking for some educational opportunities, and some members are there to come in and support you and sponsor what you're doing. So everybody has a different why. And I start with my businesses asking them what their why is and trying to help them in that way so they don't get inundated. It's easy. We do a lot. So
I was going to say, yeah, I feel like all the chambers have so many different opportunities, and it's very easy to overcommit yourself, especially as a small business owner, when you're trying to wear all of the hats. Kelly, what do you think? What do you think? Because I know Plano has all different kinds of even programs with like levels of things and things like that. So how do you feel like the small business owner should kind of engage a Plano Commerce Chamber of Commerce?
Well, I think you guys in your previous comments really hit it on the head. It's about getting to know the member and understanding what they really need. But I always tell the members the first step is to make sure that they understand everything that's available. Chambers offer an awful lot, but if you don't know what it is, you can't take advantage of it. Every chamber has a, maximize your membership kind of event where you can learn about the different programs. So make sure you understand everything that's available and then be selective. It's absolutely true. You can't do everything. Otherwise, you'd have our jobs, right? So be selective. And when in doubt, think about where your potential clients are. Where are the clients where are the contacts that you're looking for? And then focus on those programs first.
Well, and just to piggyback off of that, and let's dive a little bit deeper in that, because that was one of my questions, is what programs actually could produce that ROI for those members? So, we'll go back around, and maybe there's different, Plano has a different program than maybe Prosper does, or maybe Murphy because of the different sizes. But what would you say, kind of what's 1 or 2, 3 that you could really say, hey, if I'm really wanting to produce ROI, what's a program that I should focus on? Kelly, I'll give it back and then we'll swing back around.
Okay. I think the main thing is to understand, and sometimes you have to sit with the members and help them figure it out. What is your ROI? What is it really? Because sometimes you don't really know. Once you figure out what that is, then you can kind of match it back to the program that's going to supply that. Because all members are totally different and they have different needs and different expectations. Sometimes the trickiest part is managing the expectations, making sure that they have a reasonable ROI and a measurable ROI, and then plugging them into the program that's going to meet that need.
You think is there one program off the top of your head that everyone should do? Or is it all individual?
I think that, there's so many different types of programs and different types of members, but we have in all chambers, we'll have kind of usually a state of series, a state of healthcare, a state of workforce housing, a state of AI, whatever that is, a state of the city with your mayor and the city offices. Those types of events tend to bring the community leaders in the room, and those are the folks that you really want to be familiar with and or know. And they also tend to bring issues of common interest and opportunity for your particular community. And it gives you a nice viewpoint of what's coming down the pike at your community, what the trends might be. So if I had to recommend one type of programming, that would be it. And then always walk those first couple of aisles of tables. That's where the sponsors are. And you want to be sure that you're familiar with them and their companies, because those will tend to be your chamber's leadership.
Tracy, kind of same thing. Is there anything that you can think of?
Yeah, I would totally agree with what Debbie said, knowing what your members are looking for. And I've learned that over the last couple of years. I will have someone call me and say, I don't think I'm getting what I signed up for. And so what did you sign up for? I have learned now to have that conversation on the front end and before they ever sign on the dotted line, just what they're looking for and what their expectations are. And then trying to help them understand, truly what we do. We do a state of the community. We combine our school district and local, our town government, mayor, and those are great events. I also wish that every person in the chamber could go through a leadership program, and most chambers do those. And we just launched ours last year, and it's been an incredible program. And I wish everybody could do that and be a part of it. So.
Well, Nicholas, I know that you're newer to your position, but what are you kind of focused on maybe with starting the chamber back up?
Well, with me, I come from an advertising background. And so I'm looking at, yes, their ROI, but also the budgets they have to work with, and see if we can work within their budget, and also the different levels membership and see what we can do with perks to their memberships, whether they get a free 15 minutes on a local radio station to help promote their business, depending on the level of membership they have, or also with newspapers and things like that. That's the advertising part of me, is looking at our membership packages and see what we can enhance there to help solve their ROI problem, or if they do not have a problem, but also their budgets, to see if we can stay within their budgets and what they need.
Awesome.
But I would love to see Murphy come up with a Murphy leadership from the city for young people, government, and things like that. I would love to see that, and that's going to be my recommendations going forward to the mayor, to the city manager, and things like that, to get people involved. That's, you get them involved with the city, they learn, and then you can get them involved with the chamber leadership too.
Well, it's funny you say that, Nicholas, because what we're going to do is take a quick commercial break. I did want to touch on some of those leadership programs that the various different cities have to offer. So we're going to dive into that on the backside. Tracy, you mentioned yours. I know Plano has one. So we're going to dive into the leadership programs here after the commercial break. But so stick around. We're going to talk that on the backside of this. So see you shortly.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
Now back to the show.
Okay, welcome back, and a quick thank you to all of our sponsors on the show. Appreciate all of your investment and efforts in getting behind what we do here. So with that, before we went to commercial break, I mentioned the leadership. I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that. Kelly, specific to your answer in the previous segment, you said basically how one of the key things that you guys are looking for from your members is involvement, right? How do you get involved? So first question, it's a two-part question. What programs do you guys have to basically welcome or get the newer members involved? So step number one, that's question number one. Question number two, kind of going to the other end of the spectrum on the leadership side. I'd love to learn more about the Leadership Plano experience. I had a wonderful experience. I went through Leadership Frisco. I know Leadership Plano has a very robust program as well, and perhaps a little bit of best practice sharing maybe can help the other groups as well. So question one, how do the new members get involved? And other end of the spectrum, Leadership Plano. Tell us about those.
Well, we do have, and all chambers will have kind of an introductory session. Ours is called Maximize Your Membership. And it's that nice overview of all the programs and services that the chamber offers. So that's a great place to start because, chambers do a lot, but they're all alike in some ways and all very different in others. And you may have been involved in a chamber in Massachusetts or California that is totally different than the chamber here. So you need to make sure that you understand everything that's available. And then we've got a couple of new member expo kind of showcase events where new members have an opportunity to have a table and really bring some information and give us a little bit more about what it is that they do and what types of products and services that they're offering. So anytime you can give the new members an opportunity to highlight what they do, your present members love that because they joined so that they could make new contacts, and those new chamber members are definitely of interest to them. So the more opportunities you can give them to shine, the happier everybody is.
100%.
Now, leadership.
Real quick, before we get to the leadership, you guys also have, I think it's a Friday event on a standing weekly basis.
Yeah, we do. And Friday, it's called Coffee Connections. I think most of our chambers in the area have this. It's like a down and dirty networking thing. We collect business cards at the door. We use those cards to facilitate introductions in a large room. Everybody gets a chance to stand up and tell us who they are, what they do, who they're looking to meet. We go all the way around the room, and then later on, we send you copies of all the cards that we collected. So it's a very productive morning. You would walk away with a lot of strong contacts who know who you are because they heard your introduction when you follow up. And you know a little bit about them as well because you heard theirs. So that's a nice way to introduce yourself to a lot of people in a very short period of time. And it does help you refine your 30-second elevator pitch too, which is a very useful skill. I have people who joined the chamber and said the best thing I ever got out of the chamber was to learn how to introduce myself. So,
Yeah, there's no backing out because once you're there, you're going for 30 seconds. You're on stage.
Yeah,
you get it.
the first impressions,
That's right. All right, tell us about the Leadership Plano program.
Okay, well, leadership programs are available all over the country, of course. They're available on a city level, which is what many of us have. They're available on county levels, state levels, and there are national leadership programs as well. And a leadership program is really the study of an infrastructure of a community. So it gives you a chance to understand how all of those building blocks come together to create that infrastructure. So you'll have a day on different topics. And that's where I find that different leadership programs really get their special sauce. It's those days that dive into, if you're sports and hospitality oriented, then you'll have an entire day based on that. If your community is more technologically and medicine and healthcare oriented, then you'll spend more time there. So they all have a lot in common, but they also have have their own individual flavors. The coolest thing about leadership programs is the relationships that you'll make there, both in terms of meeting your legislators and regulators and leaders like that, in terms of the relationships that you form with your classmates, which are substantial. They can literally be life-changing. And then usually you'll also graduate into an alumni association as well. So that can give you, Leadership Plano is in its, I think it's the 62nd class. So that's 62 years of contact. Yeah, and representing all kinds
Holy
of
cow.
businesses. Yeah. So then now you're stepping into a whole different kind of community. So it's an opportunity for you to provide some leadership and get to understand what your community needs. But it's also just a great way to understand where you're living and what the opportunities are.
Yeah, love it. That's a great overview. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to all the different aspects and benefits you get out of a leadership program. And yeah, I can speak firsthand that all those relationships you build, whether it's your classmates or city leaders, in Frisco in particular, all those things you mentioned, there was a different day dedicated to each one. So very great overview. Love that. Tracy, let's go to you next. Same two questions. So how do you guys, get your new members activated, number one, and then number two, it sounds like you have it kind of in its infancy leadership program. And then we'll move to Nicholas last on that one. I know you're talking about getting a leadership program in, so maybe share some of your best practices that you've taken and ran with as you've set up your program.
Sure. So with our new members, unfortunately, we don't have an awesome new member program like Plano does. I've recently gone to the one in McKinney, so looking at getting something like that set up in the fall where we can have new members come in and learn what all we do for them. Right now, my ambassador team assists me. I'm a chamber of 1.5. I have an office coordinator that works part-time for me. But my ambassador team does a ton of work when it comes to new members, reaching out to them, inviting them to events and engaging them. We show them off on social media. I try to call them and welcome them myself as well. So we're getting stronger and better at that every single day. So I don't say every day, but monthly, we're getting better with those things. And then, leadership, I have Class 2 in the works, and I'm proud that we now have a Prosper alumni group. I graduated. Yeah, it's very exciting. I graduated 22 people out of our first leadership program. 23, I apologize. 23 people out of our first leadership program, and 22 of them are in for alumni groups. So we're still in the infancy stages, but it was a great program last year. I learned a lot, both during the class and then about creating a leadership program. For my class, we had 2 highlights. We actually did a leadership study along the way. We did John Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Habits of a Leader, and that set very well with the class. Like, that was just a great tool. And then also just getting to be more involved in the community was just such a great piece. We went to Austin for Collin County Days, and wow, to hear the class reflect on that and talk about it, it was just a huge impact. Many of them had no idea how our state government worked, and they just heard from so many people during that time, and it was just super impactful. So I'm excited to continue to grow and just enhance this program as we move forward. So it's been a lot of fun.
Love that. No, that's awesome. And I'm glad we got the mix of different chambers that we have on the show today, because 60, what'd you say, Kelly? 68th class?
62, I think. 62.
Yeah, Frisco's on class 29, and we got 2. And then we
29's pretty good too.
We have 0 with Murphy. It sounds like we might have one coming up. So, Nicholas, I'd like to shift the discussion over to you guys. It sounds like you guys are working on some things to activate new members. So please address that side of it and tell the audience how they can get involved there. And then secondly, tell us where you're at with the leadership idea.
Well, I'm like Tracy. I'm a chamber of 1. So it's just me right now. So. And we all know how that works. If you've been in chambers long enough, you understand how that. So I'm still learning everything about Murphy. I know we do have a young entrepreneurial class that we do, leadership class like that. And like I said, one of the things I wanted to talk to the city of Murphy is about a leadership Murphy class for any age or member that wants to join and things like that. But they've also never done a leadership Austin, where they go down to Austin to see the leadership of the state representatives and things like that. So I'm going to be instituting that as well as soon as we can get it set up and other things. But, my thing going back now is making sure the members, especially the brand new members, they don't always look at what they get in their chamber package when they first join. So part of my job is for new members to make sure they understand what all they get for the level that they are paying for their membership, because a lot of them just pay the money and don't look at exactly what they're getting. So as part of my job as the executive director is to make sure they understand what they can be involved with and what they get for their membership, and keeping them active in things, and making sure, especially new members, of inviting them to different things that go on that they may not know about that happen in the city of Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, love that. And I'm curious, membership wise. So Nicholas, how big is the Murphy Chamber? And then I'm going to ask the same question of the other two.
The Murphy Chamber right now has a membership of like 251 members.
Okay.
So
cool.
it's, for a small town of a little over 21,000 people, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But we also have to look on how we can get more members in and things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So 250. Tracy, how big is yours?
315.
315.
315 people, members. Yes, sir.
And then Kelly, how about Plano?
Just under 1,000.
Okay, so there you go.
Remember, guys. Yeah, when I'm talking to people about this. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You're good. Kelly, you keep going.
I was just going to say, okay, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. When you talk, people ask you, how many members do you have in terms of member companies? But remember, they are companies, so they're representing hundreds, maybe thousands of employees. So you can look at it in terms of members, but you can also look at it in terms of people. So it may only be 300 members, but that could be thousands of people. So consider
yes,
excellent point.
Yeah, that's a great distinction. I was just purely looking at it from a number of members, and to show the vast difference in the chambers. And what I love is the fact that one that's smaller like Murphy, you guys are thinking about doing a leadership program, because that those sorts of things are energizing, right? For those people who are interested in either servant leadership or getting more involved in nonprofits or getting more involved in whatever that city has to offer, and it can be contagious. So I love hearing from the large all the way to the small on that aspect. So thank you guys for kind of sharing both sides of that, from when you first start, as well as as you get more involved and how to get more involved. So appreciate you guys sharing that. What we're going to do is take one more commercial break, and we're going to come back and just kind of hit on the key highlights that we've talked about so far, and then allow you guys to share again who you are, what you do, and how to get in touch with you. So with that, stick around. We'll be right back.
The Community Difference, Collin County, is made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Bethany Ralwin with the Beer Ralwin Realty Group, Jax Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Debbie Watson with Abracadabra, and by Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel. The Community Difference, Collin County. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
All right, that was a quick commercial break, and we're back. So what I wanted to do is just kind of recap some of the key themes that I heard as we went through our discussions today. I heard the word promoting a lot. So I kicked off the whole episode really with, what does the chamber do, right? I heard the word promoting a lot. That's promoting your members and your members' businesses. I heard connecting. Right, connecting in multiple different ways. Mm-hmm. So not only business to business, but businesses to schools, businesses to like Collin College, for instance, cities, city leadership, things like that. So connections beyond just the business to business side. I heard personal relationship building. So very much at the relational level rather than just transactional, and we talk about that quite a bit here on the Community Difference. I heard you guys talk about how you listen to the needs of your members, right? So that's how you can best tailor an involvement program for your members. So those are some of the key things that I heard, and I think that's key for the audience to hear as well. if you're thinking about getting into a chamber, or if you're already a chamber member and kind of swimming, flailing a little bit in a big deep sea, these are your contacts to reach out to. I know the ambassador programs in all the chambers. You guys all have ambassador programs. For me, when I first joined the chamber, my ambassador was key, because that ambassador helped introduce me to other people who were either in the same situation or asked me specifically, where do you want to be in 5 years? Mm-hmm. And they connected me with folks that they thought would be a good, mentor to some degree. So things like that are a great way to get more involved in the chambers. So with that, guys, what I want to do is just kind of go around the horn and allow you guys to just remind the audience who you are, what you do with your specific chamber, and then the best way to get in touch with you or any of the ambassadors or any of the key contacts with your chamber. So we always go ladies first on the show. Kelly, we'll start with you.
Oh, okay. Kelly Finelli, and I am the Business Development Manager at the Plano Chamber. Probably the best way to get me is email. So it's Kelly, KELLYF, as in Frank, at planochamber.org. KELLYF@planochamber.org. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate your time today. Tracy, we'll go to you next.
Tracy Heckel. I'm the Executive Director of the Prosper Chamber of Commerce. We have a directory on our website, events page. Come out and see us. Come join us we do a early morning networking every other Tuesday, second and fourth Tuesday every month. So come up and see us, get to know our people. I think that is such a key to what you do in the chamber, is getting to know those around you. So thanks for having me today. prosperchamber.com or Tracy@prosperchamber.com. Pretty easy to find me. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tracy. And real quick, where are those meetings, those biweekly meetings, where do they take place?
They rotate. Second Tuesday is at Longo Toyota. Fourth Tuesday is at Fish City Grill. And we do a little bit more than 30-second commercials in Prosper because we're a little bit smaller. So come up and join us. It's always changing and always different. The ambassadors run a lot of those meetings too for me. So it's always evolving.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. Appreciate your time today. Nicholas, last but not least, same to you.
Yes, I am Nicholas Jordan. I'm the Executive Director of the Murphy Chamber of Commerce. You can reach me at njordan@murphychamber.org. And so I'm looking forward to doing this. I'm looking really forward to getting to know the other chamber. Many years ago, I used to put on a roundtable for Ellis County Chambers of Commerce when I ran a radio station. And so I'd like to see quarterly, at least, a roundtable of the chamber execs getting together and talking one-on-one and doing something like that. It's a great leadership program to do that, and also to bounce ideas off each other.
Love that. Little collaboration and best practice sharing. Love to hear that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And nice little tidbit there. I used to be in radio.
Yes, sir. I ran a radio station for several years.
Oh.
I'm also a public address announcer for high school and college sports.
Well,
we learned something new about everybody each episode, so that's super. Which high schools do you do?
I have done Tyler, Athens, Waxahachie, Frisco, and then a couple of small colleges, Navarro College, Tyler Junior College, and Nelson University.
Okay, very cool.
I was going to say, you and Lyndon can geek out on football after the show, right, Lyndon?
Oh, yes. I'm in my 40th year of doing it in over 1,000 games.
Wow. That's awesome.
I have probably heard you announce a game before. I just didn't realize it. That's very cool.
Probably so.
Awesome. Well, like I said, great to spend some time with all of you leaders of the Chamber of Commerce. Appreciate everything you've shared about your communities. Love to hear a lot of the similarities and viewpoints and goals are really the same. It's intriguing to see the operational differences between the smaller and larger chambers. So again, appreciate your guys' time. Debbie and Jax, thank you so much for co-hosting again. Look forward to doing it again next month. But with that, everybody have a fun, happy, and safe weekend, and we will see you all in August. Take care.
The Community Difference, Collin County was made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Bethany Ralwin with the B. Ralwin Realty Group. Jacqueline Crider with Financial Mastery Simplified. Debbie Watson with Abracadoodle. And by Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel. The Community Difference Collin County. Together, we can make the difference.